random clip for everybody out there. Bruno Sammartino hates Steve Austin.
We wanted to know what your thoughts were on Steve Austin.
Well, Steve Austin, I didn't care for him because of his mouth. He was a very, very vulgar individual, and anybody that's like that, I could never be a fan of. So anything else he had positive, it was shattered by the negatives.
I don't know. I was a huge Bruno fan, and the more I hear little clips of him, I lose. I don't know. I just ask. Is this what's going to happen?
He didn't do anything like you, like do three rest holds and a bear hug.
No, but it's like all these wrestlers, when they get old, they all like get very bitter and senile. Even George the Animal Steel. I mean, he did an interview and he's criticizing, different people, saying.
Do we have his clip ready?
I have his clip ready, but we
might as well. We should stick to the bitter old man theme and let's see if George criticizes Bret Hart.
Well, here, before I play the Bret Hart thing, this show did a quick, rapid fire with George the Animal Steel, and when they said Hulk Hogan, George Steele said right place at the right time. When they said Bret Hart, he called him lucky. When they said John Cena, George Steele's answer was Johnny come lately. When they said Ric Flair, George Steele said needed the belt. When they asked Undertaker, George Steele said one of a kind. He did say The Rock was great, and when they brought up the name Ultimate Warrior, George Steele left, and he said that's all I have to say. So he pretty much gave negative comments about everyone.
George the Animal Steel, yeah.
Yes.
That gimmick.
Hey!
Yeah.
Anyway, this is what...
Harry back, and he taught the school in Detroit in his off-season.
Hey! That's all I could do with him. Anyway, this is what he said about Bret Hart and the Montreal Screwjob.
Everyone's got an opinion on the Montreal Screwjob of 1997 with Bret Hart and when he was leaving and Vince McMahon sort of changed the finish of the match. Do you think Vince was quite right in making that decision?
To me, that's one of the biggest jokes in big wrestling, in wrestling at all times. First of all, let's get down to the truth. Wrestling is a show. Who did Bret Hart beat to become champion? And where did he beat them? It was in the United States. So I can't lose in my country? Give me a friggin' break. You know what I'm saying? Who's the owner of the belt? Vince McMahon. So he wants his belt back. He takes it back. Now you want to get down to the business part of it? The stroke that Vince did. Because at that point, we had lost Hulk Hogan. That's where Bret was going. So we're losing all these people. All of our superstars that we're using on top. It's going for more money. And Vince ain't going to pay him that kind of money, let's be honest. So by Vince doing the double cross, he became the hottest item in wrestling. Everybody hated Vince because he cheated Bret. All he did was take his belt back. And now anytime anybody wanted to leave, all Vince had to do was get involved in the promotion. So he and I just said he was a top heel that retired about a year ago. He could replace anybody. All he had to do was come on the tube and do his stick. And anyone he outdid Hulk Hogan, he outdid Bret Hart, he outdid everybody that walked away when he did the double cross in Montreal.
And how is your relationship with Vince McMahon now?
You know what? I haven't sit down and chit chatted with him about it. When I was in there in December, he'd come over, we had a handshake and a hug. But I'm very open with him, and I think he is with me. I mean, we don't. I don't fit into what he's doing now. I know that. And I don't really want to. So it's not,
I didn't realize it was going to be that boring, the clip. I didn't listen to it at first. Sorry, everybody. Hey!
I agree with anybody that has nothing but bad things to say about Bret Hart. I really, honest to God, I just feel like Bret Hart is just one of the most overrated guys. He's definitely the best of a bad situation and a bad time in wrestling. Nobody's saying he's a bad wrestler. Nobody's saying he's a bad worker. I can just see it now. People sitting there going, this guy's a fucking idiot. Bret Hart was so great. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we get it. He's a good wrestler. But, I mean, at the end of the day...
He looks like now a roadie for Mo Savage.
No, yeah, I said he looks like a middle-aged lesbian now. Like it's whatever. He got every opportunity in the world.
I think he works for the Indigo Girls.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, he did sign a lucrative contract with WCW, and in WCW, he actually did have stroke.
Oh, you're gonna get it.
I'm sorry. Bret Hart's one of my favorites. You know, I mean, I was a Bret Hart fan. I mean, yes, I agree now. He does look like a jaded, like middle-aged lesbian, but Steve Austin on Twitter about the Bruno clip. Steve,
God bless him, still wearing the MC jacket from 25 years ago.
Yeah.
He reminds me of like one of the Jackson brothers, like Jermaine. Like still trying to hold on to that fame. Oh my God!
Tell me I'm not dreaming. Steve Austin said this on Twitter about Bruno. He said, "I've always respected Bruno's career and what he's accomplished. However, I could give a rat's ass of his opinion of Stone Cold Steve Austin." Oh, and by the way, good. I just want to mention this really quick.